What's up, tubes? If you've watched any of my videos recently about like playing games, gameplay videos, I have been using this camera, and I call it a GoPro because it's kind of like a GoPro, but it's not. It is in fact called an SJ4000 Air by SJ Cam. Now, the reason I have this and not a GoPro, in the circumstance that I had where I was filming various games from various players' points of views, I wanted to have heaps of cameras, so I ended up like buying a lot of these cameras so everyone had a camera on them. And if I was going to buy GoPros, it would have cost me thousands of dollars to put a GoPro on every single person. So uh, I went online and I picked up these for reasonably cheap, and so I thought I'd do an unboxing and review on these. But before I go too much further, you might notice I got some patches here. So I've actually got 10 patches here, and for the next 10 people that buy me a coffee from the Buy Me a Coffee site, which is listed down below somewhere in the description, everyone of the next 10 people who buy me a coffee is going to get sent out a patch. So I've got 10 patches there to go for the first 10 people that go out and buy me a coffee. So do that, it's a bargain, and it helps me. So without further ado, let's have a look at this thing, this SJ Cam 4000 Air. Now, packing's pretty swish. Getting it out here, it looks very much like a GoPro. You've got your waterproof case, and in fact the mounting bracket is exactly the same as a GoPro. Accessory box here, comes charging cable, some bracket accessories, some mounts for putting the brackets onto things. Hey, this is also pretty cool. Some of the mounts have actually got standard tripod thread in them, and also there's a tripod thread adapter in here. As well, which is pretty handy, so like you can mount that onto a tripod. There's the tripod mount there as well. If you want to mount this onto the top of a tripod, then you can put your camera onto that, or you can mount it onto something, and yeah, there's various options here, so that's handy. I've used these, if you've watched my gel ball grow time lapses, I've used these cameras to actually shoot the time lapse. So I mounted them on a little tripod. So I used those adapters. Another couple of adapters. We've got the instruction manual and a couple of stickers, which is cute. Yeah, so all pretty standard sort of stuff. This is a waterproof housing that this is in. It does come out, obviously. What I have found is the audio when it's inside this housing is a bit tinny and not very good. So I like to try and use it outside of the housing. However, if you're using it outside of the housing, it doesn't have any sort of mounts to mount on. So what I've done is I've bought a separate little thing that didn't come with it. This is it here. It's a frame. This was only like $1, and I'll put the link in the description to where I got this from as well. And like I think, yeah, they were only $1 or $2. It was pretty cheap, and you can just pop your SJ Cam into that, and then that mounts onto your, your various different brackets and whatnot. So that's pretty handy. It's got the microphone input here on the side and it's unobscured. So the audio, while not awesome, it's better than the tinny audio you get when you're in the waterproof case. Obviously if you're going underwater then you kind of need that, but being that I'm not underwater, don't really need that. So to turn this on, you just hold this button down in the front here and you hold it down for a few seconds and it should light up. There we go, lights up. It's got a little colour screen on the background there, and it's quite a good little picture on the back of the screen. It's very good for setting up shots when you're sticking these on people and you're not sure which way they're facing, and you need to sort of line it up and make sure you've got your shot centered or straight or whatever. It's good to have that little screen on the back. Pressing the top button here will start recording, and pressing the front power button again will put you into the menu. It'll take you through the menu. So the first part of the menu is video, the second part is photo, the third one is slow motion, which I haven't used yet. This is playback. I don't have anything currently on this SD card, so actually there's no SD card fitted at the moment, so that's why there's nothing in there. And then settings, you can go through here. Video resolution, that's an interesting one. So this will go, it says it'll do 4K at 30 frames per second. At least that's what it says. I found that in practice that wasn't really. I don't think it was actually 30 frames a second. It may have been 4K. It states that it's 4K. It's got 4K on the packaging. It says 4K. Whether or not it is, it seemed quite choppy to me when I used it. So I actually notched that down to 1080-60, and I used all my cameras in 1080-60, and they seemed to work pretty well in that resolution. Unfortunately, my video editing software plus uploading to YouTube, and every time it does like a new render, it kind of adds its own little compression. So I think the end result on YouTube probably doesn't look as crisp as what it does when it comes out raw from the camera. So what I'm going to actually do, I'll probably I'll just put a little bit of footage here that's raw for you to look at straight off of the camera without editing anything, and then you can watch that. Silly, but like you can.
Alright, where's the nice corner? Am I crooked? Which way? That's right.
Work it out.
I mean, I can run around like this.
Land the slide forward when you go around.
Is your camera on?
Where's everyone spawning?
I'm back corner.
Which back corner?
Over there.
That spawn's gone.
You're rolling? Yeah?
I don't know.
I turned you on?
I wouldn't
Yep,
say
you're rolling.
that. Ah.
You can see on the side here now, there's a USB. But yeah, you can plug USB in there, and then you can plug it into your computer, use it as a camera connected to your computer, like a webcam, that sort of thing. Pretty handy. I like I said, I use that in my time lapse of the gel balls growing. So I thought that was pretty handy. Look, all in all, it's not as good as a GoPro, and I mean that's kind of no surprises there, really, is it? I'm just going to turn this off and pop the battery out. It's very cheap. So I mean, to compare it with a GoPro is I mean, it's not even a thing, right? Like GoPro's obviously superior, but given that GoPro costs like 10 times the price of this, depending on the model you get, it's a bit of a no-brainer. I mean, I like if I had if I could afford to buy loads of GoPros, then I'd definitely buy the GoPros. But yeah, for the money, you can't really beat this. It's a decent little camera for what it is. So yeah, I highly recommend this if you're just looking for something on the cheap to get some footage and make some videos and whack them up on the tubes. I'll put the link down in the description, as well as a link for where you can buy me a coffee. And like I said, next 10 people to buy me a coffee, I'll send patches out to you. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Peace out.
I gotta pee.